It's been a few years now since the state of Michigan voted to legalize recreational pot. That happened back in November of 2018. And then a little more than a year later, shops were able to open up to the public.
And since then, of course, we've seen dispensaries pop up all across West Michigan. But what kind of business are they doing now 3 years later? Michael Martin is in studio to take a look. Michael?
Janice, Max, there are ups and downs in any industry, and cannabis is no different. We were the 11th state to legalize it for adult use or recreational use. This year, Michigan is seeing double-digit sales growth over last. Pretty impressive. While states that have had recreational pot legal for nearly a decade, like Colorado, are starting to see sales slow down.
Michigan in the last year, January through September, has grown 26% year over year.
Despite coming out of a worldwide pandemic and dealing with increasing economic uncertainty, Michiganders are still buying a lot of pot.
Michigan is a very new recreational market, so it's in its kind of growth phase, as I like to call it.
In 2021, the state of Michigan collected just over $246 million in cannabis tax revenue. That money is then distributed to local jurisdictions based on how many dispensaries they have. For example, Kent County was given $1,072,615 for the 2021 year, while Muskegon County was given $677,441,000.
People flood into the market during the COVID pandemic. Cannabis sales rose very sharply as people had kind of more money in their pockets from government stimulus, as well as kind of had more time on their hands.
That boom pushed retailers to expand storefronts and the products they offered. In 2020, there were about 500 distinct cannabis brands available in Michigan, shooting up to 775 in 2021. But now pulling back in 2022 to 766 distinct brands on the market.
The amount of brands that came into the market kind of created more of this pricing compression effect, which makes it more difficult on producers and retailers within Michigan.
With the saturation of products, cannabis prices in Michigan began to fall.
It's kind of difficult to say at which point, supply and demand converge.
And even though dispensaries continue to sell more and more product, they are dealing with a new and changing industry.
This is not an alarm per se. We're just being transparent with our licensees that we've identified a pattern.
Michigan's Cannabis Regulatory Agency recently put out a bulletin saying there have been 117 dispensary break-ins between April and November this year.
We don't want anybody hurt. This is information that hopefully people can use to best determine the best way to protect their businesses.
Most of the break-ins are similar to what a group attempted back in July at 2 Cedar Springs dispensaries.
We have cameras covering every single surface of this entire building, including the outside. Our doors are double locked here. We have security buttons and badges.
Most of them happening overnight when the buildings are empty. In Michigan, dispensaries are required to have a number of security measures in place to be licensed.
This is a very new industry and things are very much still shuffling into position to try to stabilize. Michigan is kind of in a good position, I think, where their market is continuing to mature. But, it's kind of everybody in the industry is saying we'll see kind of with what comes next.
So these sales numbers, they come from a company called Headset, and they analyze data from the cannabis industry. A few more trends they saw in Michigan. Nearly 50% of shoppers fall in that millennial age range, the majority of them being male. But we do have more female customers here in Michigan than other states where cannabis is legal. For now, live in the studio, Michael Martin, Fox 17 News.